Well, here we are at part 2, the finished job. Give you a breakdown. Regarding what progress I made. Let's start with the fence. As you can see, I put a steel track to get the fence perfectly square. And I'm pretty pleased with that. It's square all the way down. The safety guard, just spring loaded with a stop. I can always make this longer when I want to pull the fence back. This is a 15-inch cut ahead. I'm basically only using 8 inches, and my thinking was I can reuse the other side and close this side off and use this side, move the fence towards me when the blades start wearing. Interesting to make this smooth, I found these nice little bearings again on eBay. I think they're thrust bearings. You can get 20 of them for a few bucks. So they're underneath. That guy, and that's bolted down through there, just nipped for the right tension to pull that guy back. Safety first. I would like to thank Matthias from Wood Gears. He was the one that put this thought in my head to start with. He'd taken a Delta planer and ripped it apart and took the cutter off. I think he used a 12-inch. But as I'd mentioned earlier, this was a drum sander, and I wasn't using it. I wouldn't get no use out of it. Also on his site, he was kind enough to let you download the plans for these guys, which are absolutely brilliant, and I ended up making 4 and had about an hour and a half into it. But they were such nice wood, I decided not to paint them red. It was a nice piece of cherry, which I put a very light coat of shellac on them, and this one a push stick. I came up myself. I turned the handle, got it so it's a bit stable when you push through, and you can get the slip pads, non-slip pads, of part of a track system on the Festool tools. It's the same stuff. It gives you some sticking ability for pushing wood through. So there again, safety first. The fence is just a simple arrangement with a bracket from Lowe's, sheet metal bracket, piece of ironwood, which I use a lot. It acts like using metal. You can thread it, tap it, drill it. It's hard and dense, and just a simple threaded rod that pinches in to the side with a hardwood blocker. I set this back 8.5 inches parallel with the other side. Matthias was an adjustable table. He had the ability to go up and down, raise and lower. I figured if I made 25 thou cuts, I would just make more of them. So these acorn nuts I put on there, make it look a bit better, are adjustable on 4 points to raise and lower the table. Also, being wood, to take the twist out, or any twist. So this in-feed table is exactly 25 thou below the outfeed. I dial gauged it, feeler gauged it, checked and double checked, which I think is probably the most important part of this build, was getting the blades just touching. Oops. Be a dick. Just touching the cutter. Oops. There. And as I said earlier, same the other side. So they are parallel. The build is fairly simple. It's a box. The most dangerous part, obviously, is the cutter head. It's 15 inches long. It's friggin' razor sharp, as I got the scars to prove it. And you've got to, absolute must, make sure it's anchored really well. As I mentioned before, I got 4.5 inch legs in a it's got to be a 6x4 now underneath, bearing that. Okay, the next bit we'll fire her up.